Number one, you violated your company's security policy. When you put information into ChatGPT, it's collecting your IP address, it's collecting your browser and your browser settings, it's collecting information on the prompts that you put in, how you're interacting with ChatGPT, and the actions you're taking. If you put proprietary information into ChatGPT, you just might be training the next generation of ChatGPT on your proprietary data. This has happened before. It's been in the headlines. You do not want to put in proprietary information. Make sure, or even use ChatGPT if you don't know your company's policy on AI. And if they don't have one, I would err on the part of not using AI until your company figures out how AI can be used effectively. Number two, you take the false information that ChatGPT gives you and you put it into a course. ChatGPT and other AI platforms do this thing called hallucination. And basically what they're doing is they're trying to make a guess on the next sequence of words based on a pattern. But that can be all wrong, especially if you're looking at statistics or numbers or something like that. So for example, I went through ChatGPT and said, hey, give me the percentage of people in the United States that have this type of cancer. You know, I needed it for a course. Turns out it came a great number, great reference, but it was wrong. It was not the right number. The other day, I went into ChatGPT and I said, hey, give me an objective in the ABC format, right? ABCD format, audience, condition, behavior, degree. You know what it came back with? It came back with objectives of attitude, benefit, context, and deadline. What? Never heard of that from an instructional design perspective. But if I didn't know any better, I might use that. I heard the term ABCD, didn't really know what it meant, put it in my course, the objectives, the client looks at it, my boss looks at it, I'm fired. So it's going to give you false information. Don't rely on it. Number three, you use the false citations from ChatGPT as if they were real. In fact, a friend of mine just got a new consulting gig because the last consultant for this company created an analysis report, and all the citations they put in the report were generated by AI, and they were all wrong. They were all false. They were all fake. And those fake references gave the client some inclination like, hey, wait a minute, maybe this whole report is fake, or maybe the person didn't do the analysis that they thought they were going to do. So they got fired because they didn't do the work. They had ChatGPT do the work and they got false citations. The fourth reason is because you used racially, politically biased content. You used ChatGPT to give you content that is biased, that is not diverse, that is myopic. What happens is ChatGPT is trained on literally billions of web pages. And we know that the internet has lots and lots of biases all over this health, right? The internet is filled with bias. And if we train on bias, that bias can leak into what we're presenting. And overt stuff, we can pretty much get rid of that, right? But it's the subtle things. It's like where it says all nurses are women, or all CEOs are men, or the images it provides are not racially diverse. There's lots of ways that biases can sneak into your work and cause you to be dismissed. Getting you into trouble with copyright laws or copyright infringements. ChatGPT has trained itself, as we said before, over billions of websites all over the place. And basically, it copies and pastes and analyzes and thinks about content. Well, it doesn't think, right? It analyzes content, provides it, predicts what the next word will be. And sometimes its predictions are based on exactly what ChatGPT has seen out there. You don't know if it's exact word sequence lifted from an article. You don't know if it's an exact quote from someone. So you've got to be really careful when you take information because you don't want to violate any copyright items. So maybe if you get the text, maybe you want to check it on the internet to see if somebody already said that and you're not giving them fair attribution. That's a copyright infringement, and you need to be careful about potential copyright issues. Secretly having ChatGPT do your job as an employee or as a contractor. Secretly doing anything at your job is a good opportunity to get fired. Corporations, organizations, bosses, managers, they don't like it when you secretly do things. And if you can use ChatGPT to secretly do all your job, then You literally can be replaced by a computer. So remember, don't secretly allow ChatGPT to do your job. Find out if you can use it for assistance or help, but ask, don't secretly use it. Lack of creativity in your instructional solution. So ChatGPT is trained on a large language model, but the problem is that's stuff that's already been done, that's already out there. And when you ask ChatGPT or any AI a question, usually you're going to get back a fairly generic answer, and it's not going to be different or creative or something that's going to spark your imagination or your learner's imagination. So if you use ChatGPT to come up with all kinds of activities and information, it may not be as creative as you want it to be. It may not give you that creative spark that's necessary to create the instruction. So you need to be careful that you don't get back generic activities, generic information, generic approaches that are boring and not creative. They don't give you that creative spark. So make sure that ChatGPT is not just giving you boring, same old type of instructional information. Lack of cultural context and nuance. ChatGPT is based on information that is not up to date. So subtleties in terms of what's happening in the world are not going to be in there. Easter eggs that you and I understand that might make training exciting or interesting or something to look forward to can't really be put in by ChatGPT. ChatGPT and AI doesn't understand the nuances of how humans interact. It doesn't understand the nuances of culture, of connectivity, of the zeitgeist of what we all hold to be true. And in that case, it will create very boring, generic, non-nuanced, non-contextualized, cultural-free content. And that's not good for connecting to the learners, not good at all. Number 9, a lack of knowledge of instructional design. ChatGPT or any AI solution is not specifically designed to add instructional strategies, to know that content should be provided, for example, as a concept in examples and non-examples, right? ChatGPT is not designed to design instruction. It's designed to provide content and information. So if you're tasked with actually designing the instruction, actually taking the instruction and adding the instructional strategies, ChatGPT is not a good way to do that. It can actually give you boring, not exciting, not instructionally designed content, just text, just information. And telling ain't training, right? Designing instruction using a design aspect is what's going to make the instruction effective. So not knowing andragogy or pedagogy is definitely a problem with ChatGPT and will get you in trouble because it's not designing the instruction, it's just providing content. And finally, and perhaps worst of all, your own skills may degrade over time. If you're simply relying on AI or some other computer to provide all of your sparks of creativity, all of your pedagogical delivery of content or andragogical delivery of content, even though ChatGPT doesn't have that kind of capability, you might put that in the prompt, you're getting rusty on your skills. And this isn't something that will be a problem short term. This will be a long-term problem as you'll slowly degrade your skills over time. If all you do, if the only thing you do as someone who creates instruction is to rely on ChatGPT. You cannot do that. You need to constantly be honing your skills and the skills that you need to become a great instructional designer. So don't rely 100% on ChatGPT or any AI because you will be hurting only yourself. So there you have it, 10 ways ChatGPT could get you as an instructional designer in trouble or worse, fired. So what's the bottom line? What should we really do? Well, using ChatGPT to help spark ideas, to help you move to the next level, to help you think about your content more richly is a good thing, right? It's help. Think of it as augmenting your skill set. But relying solely on ChatGPT, AI, or any type of other tool to design the instruction for you is not a good methodology. Yes, these tools are great for helping us gain skills and for helping us actually determine, what spark, what new information, what kind of things we can think about, right? I've used ChatGPT. I say, hey, give me a silly prompt, and it gives me silly ideas. And then I riff off those, and then I come up with, I think, creative ideas. So ChatGPT and AI can be used to help spark creativity, but you should never use it as the sole source of creating instruction. As these 10 items show, you can get into a lot of trouble in a lot of different ways.